Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, game director on Path of Exile 2.
Okay, Jonathan.
Well, we're back from our break. We've been playing the game a whole lot, and we've been reading a whole lot of feedback as well. So it's time to assess and work out what we're going to do next.
Okay.
Now, later this week, we'll be releasing POE 2 0.1.1.
Later this week. Což tím pádem nebude v pondělí. Pavel zase věděl, vytušil.
In this video, we'll be going over some of the issues we've identified and
Tak
what we're planning
pokaž,
on doing.
jaký jsou problémy a co s nima budou dělat.
Just because a specific issue isn't on this list doesn't mean that we're not aware of it or that it isn't going to get addressed. It just means that we either can't fix the problem quickly.
Takže některé věci samozřejmě, se kterými je problém, nebudou v těch patch notes. Okay.
We've made a lot of changes here.
Že prostě tam je to, co stihli.
First, in-game maps have received a balance pass to the number of monsters, number of chests, number of magical rare monsters,
okay,
number of essences, strongboxes and precursor artifacts. You should generally find maps more rewarding than before.
Okay, takže mapy by měly být víc rewarding.
One or more of these elements that they will be particularly rewarding in. Now, towers are a thing that's very important for players to run often.
Okay.
We only had one of them. We wanted to add more variety here as soon as possible.
Oh můj bože. 4 nový věže.
Alpine Ridge, Sinking Spire.
Místo toho, aby je smazali, tak přidali 4 nový.
And Mesa.
Mesa bude jako věž, jo. Oh můj bože, já už teď jsem plesatý. Ok, takže změnili tu věž, aby to bylo nebylo méně nudný. Ok, víc map.
But in reality, the rate was much lower due to some maps being unable to spawn bosses.
Ok, víc bossů, ok.
So that we can get the actually intended rate.
Ok, víc bossů, win.
We're also adding a new type of tablet that allows you to add bosses to your maps.
Ok, nový tablet, který přidává bosse. Ok, dobrý, win.
They now spawn monsters faster, have a less annoying fog effect, and have also received changes to the
buff pro boxy, že už nejsou tak otravný.
Now, let's talk about visibility of effects.
Visibility.
Many maps had too much clutter, preventing effects on the ground from rendering, causing you to be unable to see and dodge them.
Okay, souhlasím.
The level of clutter on some maps.
Takže snížili hnůj na zemi, takže bude všechno líp vidět. Ok.
In addition, elemental explosion effects have had visibility improved. Stick around for longer before they explode and disappear without exploding if a rare monster dies. Ok, takže on-dead efekty zdechnou, když zemře to rare monstrum, ok. Zoom level zvýšený. Ok, terrain collision. Jo, load time se naloadoval pozdě, super. Ok, pecka, biom je ukázaný. For Delirium, we recently fixed a bug which caused Delirium monsters to just not spawn after the starting part.
Ok, to je ten bug s Deliriem. 20% zvýšený simulakra. RIP. A taky větší šance, že najdeš Expedition bossa. Ok, o 60% zvýšený spawn rate omenů. Jasně, no to nás nezajímá. Ok, zvýšená šance na rare věci. Ok, z expedice a chtějí to změnit ještě do budoucna.
In order to address these concerns, we're making the following changes.
Ok, změny na bossích.
We're making the Citadel spawn closer to the center of the Atlas, and we've also added an effect so you can see them in the fog of war from further away.
Ok, takže vidíš citadely přes fog of war, přes ten beam.
On the Arbiter of Ash, you will now get up to 6 respawn attempts.
6 respawny na Arbitrovi.
Triggered by the person who put in the keys, and everyone on your party will be respawned at the same time. Leaving the map still forfeits your attempt, so you'll still need to fight the boss with the build you walked into the map with. Higher difficulties of the boss will lower the number of respawn attempts you get. But you should know the mechanics of the fight,
čím těžší boss, tím víc mechanik.
Now, we'll also be adding respawns to other pinnacle content as well over time.
Ok. Takže zatím je to jenom arbitr, ale... Ok. No, přesně tak, tady ten boss je těžší než ostatní. Ok, takže bude jednodušší tenhle ten boss, takže se můžeme připravit, že budou levnější ty fragmenty. Ok.
But we realized that we do need to make sure that more uniques feel powerful when you first get them at low levels too.
Okay.
In this patch, we are buffing a lot of uniques. These changes should make
buffy
finding these at lower
uniku.
levels a lot more fun.
Okay.
And make subsequent character playthroughs more fun too.
No, že to celý nepřečteme, to nejsme schopni někom přečíst, to uvidíme v patch notes.
We're also changing a few other things to make finding rares better at higher levels too. First, we're changing mod weightings a bit to make sure that there are less bad mods. Another fix is making high-tier items no longer cull the highest-tier modifier of a given mod type. This bug caused bows and crossbows to not spawn with attack speed at tier 5 rarity, and rings to not spawn with life at tier 5 rarity.
Lul.
Another change we're making is to make it so that socketables such as runes can now be
jsem si myslel, že
overwritten
udělal, já jsem zapomněl, samozřejmě, vole, runy měnit.
As we continue to play, we still find many balance anomalies with specific monsters or bosses that can be nasty if you encounter them. This patch contains a pass adjusting a large number of those monsters and bosses.
Login.
We'll save the full list for the patch notes, but there are a significant number of changes
spousta změn prostě na bosech.
cases where monsters or bosses felt too hard in certain circumstances.
Takže, takže zjednodušej bose. Zjednodušej bose,
The Silver Fist Commander roll now does a lot less damage.
No, tohle one-shotovalo, ten roll.
Plague Bearers Detonate Dead can no longer be used from off-screen and has better telegraph.
Takže nebude mož off-screen, Detonate Dead tě takže Detonate Dead tě nezabije off-screen, dobrý.
And Lost Men Zealots can no longer meteor you from off-screen either.
Jo, a ten taky meteoroval off-screen, takže to taky změnili, dobrý.
One of the big issues for players on consoles is that the web-based item filter system is currently not working. This means that they can't use item filters like the PC users can. For 0.1.1, we'll be enabling the same system that POE 1 has, which allows you to subscribe to item filters on the website.
Klasika.
Now this will be done on the POE 1 website to allow us to
jak tam dali neversinka, takový promo.
We'll improve the user experience of this and put it on the Path of Exile 2 website.
Jo, zatím dobrý změny.
Contains a bunch of other smaller changes and bug fixes that I'm sure you guys will appreciate.
Takže zatím
like buffing armor and scavenged plating.
Říkal jsem armor buff.
Showing the number of uses left in your charms as well as an effect when they trigger.
To je dobrý, to dává samozřejmě smysl tohleto.
Fixing the music that Una was supposed to play in town.
Dobrý, tak se někoho nezajímá. KKW, vole.
And plenty of other little fixes and improvements throughout the game.
To vypadá, že nebudou nerfy.
Now, we have a huge amount of much more meta-shifting changes that we know we want to make. And one of the best things about having the game in early access with the endgame is that we now have a much better idea of where we want character power to be.
Character power.
But those types of changes are going to have to wait until we are ready to make a new league with a new economy for people to play in. That's still a little while away yet, but in the meantime, we'll be continuing to identify things that are causing frustration and try and address them. I want to thank you guys for playing and hope to be doing more of these in the future. Later.
Žádný, já si myslím, že nějaký nerfy budou v patch notes, ale nedozvíme se jich teďkon, jo. No fucking ready. To musí.
Be right back type of screen here. You will hear no audio, and it will just be a blank screen for probably 5 to 10 minutes at the highest. And now we're going to do an interview about what we just saw. So give us 1 moment here.